Okay, welcome everyone. So this is Premier Chess Adult Beginners Class, Group 2. And this is week 6, so we're going to be discussing about pins. Um, this is my lecture on pins, everyone. So um, first of all, what is a pin? Let me ask everyone. What do you all, how would you define what a pin is?
It's an attack on a piece with a stronger piece behind it.
Okay, it's an attack. Okay, but there's a little bit more to the attack though that characterizes it as a pin.
Right. So it's an attack on a piece with a stronger piece behind it. So if the attack piece moves, it exposes the
Right. All right, good job. Yeah, very
valuable
good, very
piece.
good. Yeah. So it's very important that the more valuable piece is right behind it, so that the piece is pinned. Now, there's two different kinds of pins. Anybody know what those are called?
Relative and absolute.
Excellent. Relative, absolute pin. What's the difference?
Absolute is when you're pinning a piece against a king, so the piece cannot be moved; it will be illegal.
Yes.
And relative is when you're pinning because behind it there is a stronger piece, like a queen, so you can move it, but then you're gonna lose the stronger piece.
So that's the relative.
That's the relative, yeah.
Yeah, good. Absolute pin is it's illegal. It's against the rules to move because you can never put your king in check. So that would be an absolute pin. And a relative pin is everything else. So, pinned against a queen or against a rook or against a bishop that's hanging or a knight that's hanging, things like that. So okay, good. So for example, let's just before I do that, all right, good. Yeah. So also the kinds of pieces that can perform pins are what kinds of pieces?
Would have to be pieces that can attack at a distance. So
Right.
Long range.
Right. Long range pieces. That's a very important distinction. Very important. So pins are only able to be wielded by bishops, rooks, and queens, right? Knights cannot do a pin, a king cannot do a pin, and a pawn cannot do a pin. All right, good. All right. So in this position, real quick, what is this an example of?
Relative.
Nope.
Absolute.
This is absolute, right?
Absolute.
This
Oh,
knight
yes.
absolutely cannot move anywhere because
Right.
you will be putting him in check. And so that can never happen. Good. All right, let's go next. Okay, good. Okay, so move the piece to place in a pin. What would be the move?
Bishop to b5.
Excellent. Bishop b5. Okay, what type of pin is that again?
Absolute.
Absolute. Excellent. All right. Good. This would be an example of a relative pin. Knight can move. It is according to the rules, but most of the time you do not want to move because queen is more valuable. Although there are exceptions to that, of course. There's exceptions to every general principle. Depends on the position, right? Sometimes it's beneficial to move the piece. So yeah, you got to determine that for yourself in each position. Okay, good. So what's the best move here? White
Or
to
you want to
move.
advance the pawn, so you can take the pin piece on the following move.
Okay, so advance the pawn, but well, give me a square.
Well, it's f6.
F6, excellent. Yeah. So there's another principle relating to pins, which is I don't know if you guys have heard of this kind of mnemonic. It's they use a lot in the Chess Kid website for kids. It's called you have to put PP on the PP. So put pressure on the pin piece. Put pressure on the pin piece. PP on the PP. So here, knight is pinned, does not want to move. Rook is undefended, right? So we need to increase pressure, right? Always increase pressure on pin pieces. Very important. Okay, don't let your opponent protect either the valuable piece behind it or protect this piece. Don't give them as free moves, extra moves. You have to attack quickly. All right, so always put pressure on the pin piece. Very important principle. All right, so now here, so what would you say is the best move for white here?
Rook takes h6.
Very good. Rook takes h6. Everybody see that? Very nice move. taking advantage of the long diagonal pin. King cannot move. So this is a special type of checkmate. Anybody know what the name of this checkmate is?
Isn't the Arab?
Nope. Not the Arab. Well, that's a good one too. I like that one. What is this called? No idea. So this if you checkmate your opponent on the back rank or the first rank or the 8th rank, it's called what?
Home rank.
Back rank.
Back rank, yeah, back rank checkmate. So if you checkmate your opponent on the A file or the B file, there's a special name for that, and it's called the corridor mate, or also called Anastasia's mate. All right. Yeah, Anastasia's mate. So it's a very nice checkmate. Good. All right. Good job. So let's see here. Now, best move for white. What do you think? Oh, let's say, for example, imagine this H pawn is not here. Okay, imagine the H pawn is not there. What is the best move for white?
Queen takes queen.
No. Although that is a good move, I'll give you that. But I know this queen is free. Let's say another. Okay, I'm gonna imagine a couple of changes. To this there's no H pawn, and let's say there's a rook here, protecting the queen. Okay, so now what is the best move? Okay, rook, no pawn.
Queen takes g7.
Nope. Queen takes g7. No, there's a much stronger move than that.
Rook e1.
Rook e1. Okay, so what are you threatening with rook e1?
Back rank mate.
So you are threatening back rank mate, true, but black has a stronger move, which is what? Black has a stronger move than rook e1.
Rook takes a6.
Rook takes no. Again, remember, imagine there's no queen here, there's no pawn here, right? So you just lose your queen.
Oh, that's right. Yep.
Right. Yeah. So we need a better move. Imagine no pawn here and there's a rook here. What's the best move?
Rook d1.
Rook d1.
We're trying them all.
Everybody see why that's the strongest move? Everybody understand that?
Yeah, it pins the queen.
So this queen is pinned along the h2 to b8 diagonal, right? Which means that the queen, the black queen, cannot leave this diagonal at all. So the only move, I mean, any move really will either incur massive loss of material or mate, right? So it doesn't even matter if this queen is unprotected, if the g3 queen is unprotected, because even if he tries to win the queen, you can come down and you can deliver the checkmate, right? So basically, you can kind of say, actually, there's two different types of pins here. There's a pin along the h2 to b8 diagonal, and then there's also another pin on the d file, because you can say that this queen is pinned to this file because the threat is the rook coming on d8 mate, right? So you can even do a pin in that respect, threatening to come on a square, right? That's another type of pin. It's kind of interesting. Everybody see that? Yeah. All right, good. Okay, let's go on to the next one. All right, so pin, yes. Okay, bishop a d4, we got that. All right. Again, real quick, what do we do here? Best move?
f4.
On
F4, yeah. PP on the PP. Put pressure on the pin piece. Very important. All right, good. Okay, best move here. What do you think?
Bishop takes f6.
Bishop takes where?
Knight on F.
F6.
Excellent. And the can the pawn take?
No.
No, yeah. Very nice pin on the G file, pinning the G pawn. So, again, there's pins all over the place, and every move opens up a new position, right? So you have to constantly reevaluate, reanalyze each new position, because new tactics are born after every move, right? So in this position, this pawn is there, but its power to protect f6 and h6 is illusory, right? It's imagined, right? So as long as the queen stays here, this pawn is paralyzed, cannot move from the G file. Very good. All right. Okay, best move here. What do you think?
About knight F to G5. Knight captures on G5.
Yeah, knight takes G5. Very good. Yeah, so let's say yeah, he takes with the knight. So yeah, so there's double attack on the rook, right? Rook's only defended once. Good. So now what
So what if
happens?
I'm taking with the rook?
Yeah, what if we take with the rook? Now what?
So then you can
Here, let me do this. Hold on. I'm going to make it actually, you know what? Hold on. I'm just going to go to the analysis board. Okay, let's go back here. Good. So now he takes with the rook. So now what's the best move?
take back with the
Oh yeah, of course.
Right. The pin still exists. Now the rook is completely undefended. So yeah, we can take this and the knight is pinned to the rook, right? So he takes, and we win the exchange. So yeah, very nice pin on the E file. All right. Am I going too fast for anybody, or is this good? Good speed. Okay. Okay, good. All right. So how about here? What is the best move here? Black to play.
takes H6.
Rook takes H6. Very nice. Good. You got that quickly. Everybody see why that's the best move?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody see? Yep. Beautiful pin on the long diagonal, A8 to H1. Oh, we got someone. Lance is coming in. Okay.
And because it's checked, the queen can't take the other queen, even though it's staying.
Exactly. This queen is on pre or for free, but white doesn't have time. Hello, Lance. How you doing?
Hi.
Welcome. So yeah, we're talking about pins now. So let's just go back with one move for Lance. So yeah, so here, best move for white. Very beautiful. Rook takes H3, check. Exploiting this pin on the A8 to H1 diagonal. And the bishop is also eyeing this nice diagonal as well. So the only move that white has is, hold on, there you go, King G1. Now, best move here.
Rook
G6.
to G6.
Rook G6. Beautiful. Everybody see that? I love these. So this bishop now. So now remember I told you every move is a new puzzle. Every move reevaluate, right? So now the king stepped onto G1. Now he stepped into a pin from the C5 bishop. So now we can exploit that by now moving to rook G3. Again, the queen is pinned. Now the queen is pinned to the king by the rook. And this pawn is not defending G3, right? Its defense is illusory. It's pinned to the king. So beautiful. Beautiful. I love it. I love it. I love when people exploit these concepts like this. All right. So let's go on to the next one. All right. What's the best move for white here? What do you think?
Rook F1.
Rook F1. What do you think, everyone? Good move, bad move?
Why not rook at E1?
Okay. Okay. Rook E1, you can do that too. That's, I mean, you're just checking. But what about rook F1? Good move or bad move?
I bet hanging the rook, right?
Yeah, hanging the rook. Bishop takes. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So best move for white here. What do you think?
You can also take the knight. on b5.
Yes, the knight is unprotected. Free knight. Yeah, very nice. Taking the knight with tempo, with check. So these are all examples of pins. But the best move would be to take the knight because it's unprotected, right? Good. Okay. All right, let's go on here. Not that one. Okay, that's a pin. Very simple. All right, good. Best move here. What is the best move here?
Bishop to c4.
Bishop to c4.
Excellent, excellent. Yeah, beautiful. See the king and queen. You know, whenever you see like major pieces that are lined up on the same diagonal, you should always that should a little red flag go off in your head. You know, that's danger for you or danger for your opponent. And you should always keep that in mind if you especially if you have the bishop on that same color, right? So always keep that in mind. Beautiful pin of the queen to the king. Very nice. All right. All right, best move here.
Bishop G5.
Yeah, bishop G5, excellent. Yeah. So the bishop is pinning the knight to the rook. Rook is unprotected, knight cannot move, and there's really no way there's no way to win the knight. I'm sorry, win the there's no way for black to protect the knight, right? So very good. Good. Okay. Best move here.
For white.
For white, yeah.
Oh, queen to e3. No, it hangs the queen.
Queen G7.
Queen G7, good.
Hmm.
Why is that the best move? Before I move it, why is it the best move?
Well, it pins the bishop on the king and it pins the knight on the rook.
Yes, double pin, very powerful. So here's another goal that you want to do when you're playing your games and you're moving is that we get one move, right? We get one chance to move and then our opponent makes another move. So you want to maximize the amount of things that you can do with each move, right? So if you can do a move that does 2 or even 3 things simultaneously, that's excellent, even better, right? So if you look at master games and grandmasters playing, you will notice that their moves accomplish multiple functions. So if they're being attacked, they're going to defend and at the same time, if possible, attack their opponent, right? So you always have to look at moves that perform multiple functions. So Queen G7 is an excellent move, pinning both pieces, right? So he could have done Queen H7. That's just one pin, and now black can defend, and he's fine, right? But once you do something like Queen G7, now you got 2 pins, and now black is in a bind, right? Bishop can't move. You would defend the bishop, you lose your knight, so there's no way that he can do both. So yeah. Excellent example of multitasking when you're playing your games. Make sure you multitask. All right. What do you think is the best move here?
Knight G6.
Knight G6, beautiful. Knight G6 mate, right? Queen is pinned. Very nice. King cutting off all the squares and the knight delivering a nice this is almost, you can say, like a smothered mate, you can say. Kind of. But it's not black's pieces that are cutting off the king's movement, it's the white king. So yeah. Very nice. All right. Best move.
Rook to
Rook
e8.
e8 mate.
Yeah, rook e8 mate, beautiful. So again, back rank mate, and rook is pinned. Rook is helpless, cannot do anything. Beautiful. All right, white to move, best move here.
Knight to e6.
Knight cannot go to e6.
Oh, sorry, I said e6. d5.
D5. Knight d5 is mate. Very nice. Everybody see that? Beautiful. So the whole 8th rank cut off by the rook. The knight is immune to capture. The queen is pinning the c pawn, and the knight is delivering a nice check and also guarding b6. So knight is very powerful in these types of semi-closed positions. All right, very good, awesome. All right, so now we're going to look at some grandmaster games where they illustrate the concept of pins in their games. All right. So this is going to be a little bit more challenging than those examples. Those are just warm up to make you guys think that you know pins already. Okay. All right. So this game is between Alexander Allegan and Jose Raul Capablanca. Everybody know who those people are?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Pretty famous.
Previous world champions. Allegan was the something like the 4th or 5th world champion. Capablanca, I believe, was the 3rd world champion. And so Capablanca is black and Alexander Alekin is white. It's white to move. What is the best move here? Oh, by the way, this is from their game for the world championship. So extra tense.
Rook to C1.
Okay, rook to c1. Before I move it, what does everyone think? Does everyone like that move? Rook to c1.
Because then they just deliver check on the next move.
Yes, it's a good move in the sense that you
Except that it's check.
exactly. So you see that the rook is pinned to the queen. Very good, but the problem is, he can take it with check. So that's the problem that white has. So, rook c1 is a good move, but it's check. So he has to do something. He has to prepare rook c1. So not yet. What do we do
Bishop
first?
C2.
Bishop c2 doesn't really do much to I mean, if we do bishop c2, maybe he's going to do something like, I don't know, queen here, something like that, and try to get out of the pin that way, right? Protect his queen. So we need something a little stronger. What else?
Pawn to F3.
Okay, pawn f. Oh wait, let's go back here. Okay, pawn f3. All right.
Or maybe F4.
So let's see here. Pawn f3. What can he do here? I mean, he could move it back here, kinda. Okay, and then he's kind of threatening. Okay. Oh, so now he's threatening check here, right? So yeah, it's not as strong. There's a stronger move than that. All right, you guys give you a hint.
Yeah.
So okay, so whenever I give my students puzzles, right? So there's a hierarchy of 3 types of moves that you should look for. So beginning with the most forceful move. What is the most forceful move in chess?
Check move.
Check.
Check, yeah. So the first thing you look for is checks. So so with white to move, can white check the black king?
No.
Nope.
No. So that's out. The second most forceful move is what? Anybody know? What do you think?
Capture.
Captures, yeah. So can white capture anything here?
The knight.
The
on
knight.
F2.
The knight or the
Yeah.
rook.
Yeah, you can capture the knight. That's true. Or the rook. Good. The rook's probably not a good idea. The knight is something that we might consider. So let's see, for example, let's see if we capture the knight.
You have to capture with a pawn.
He could capture it here, yeah. And now what does black do? Oh, sorry, white.
Rook to D1.
Okay, we could try rook to d1, and now he can defend his queen, and now the rook is free, right? So we need to do something first. So okay, so capture. So we ruled out captures now. So now what's the third most forceful move in chess?
Threats.
Threats. So we need to threaten something. Threaten something.
Okay, so f4.
Yeah, so f4, it does a few things. It does two things that I can see. Is it attacks the queen, so moving the f pawn, creating a space for the king to escape, and at the same time attacking the queen. So basically, not allowing black to consolidate or to defend his queen. So now he has to move. So he moves back to queen g7, and now what do we do?
Now we take the knight.
Yes, now we take the knight. Get rid of the defender of the rook.
Defender.
Right.
Mhm.
Excellent. Get rid. Now what do we do?
Now king g2.
King f2.
f2, sorry.
Yeah. Yes, the very important move. King f2 is the killer move. It's the killer move. It's a very quiet move. I love these quiet moves that accomplish so much. So king f2, right? So it's removing the king from the first rank, and it's creating the threat of rook c1, the move that we've
Right.
been anticipating, right? So black goes queen f6. Now what do you think?
Now
Best move.
rook c1.
Okay, rook c. If we do rook c1 now, black, he gets out. How does he get out?
Oh, rook c2 check.
No, rook
No, that
c2.
hangs-
You can
that's-
just take.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, queen h4.
Yes, queen h4. Now he
Oh.
removes himself from the diagonal with check, and he can't even block with the pawn because now it's even worse. We're gonna lose our queen. So yeah. So you don't want him to wriggle out of this bind that he's in. So here's the other.
So
Well, I just want to say real quick before we say that, the other thing that we have to keep in mind is that when you have a course of action, you have a plan, you have to be very careful to not allow your opponent any counterplay. Very important, eliminate all counterplay, right? Because, things can happen, things can get complex, and you want to keep things simple. Always keep things simple. So what should we do before
we can play g3 first.
G3 first? Yeah, we want to eliminate the idea of queen h4. So now black is in a real pickle. Now he doesn't, he has no more resources. So all he does is king d7. He can't really do much else. So he's basically trying to protect his queen. And now rook c1 comes with devastation because now the queen is still unprotected and he's too late. So yeah. All right. Everybody see that? Good.
Mhm.
So yeah, very important when you see these ideas, these motifs in your games, you can pursue them and you can create a plan, but you always have to keep in mind that your opponent will try to create counterplay, and you have to eliminate that if you can. Right, very important to eliminate that. All right. So on this game, Alexander Alekin was on the winning side. Now we're going to see the next game. He's on the losing side. So Alexander Alekin is black, and Max Yu is white. Also, previous world champion, I believe, for a year, a very short time. So it's white to move. And what is the best move here? What do you think?
Bishop b7.
Okay, so bishop b7. What does everyone think? Good move or bad move?
Good.
What do you think? What do you think? Good move or bad move?
It doesn't seem as strong as, I mean, it's only doing one thing. It's attacking the rook and
It's attacking the rook. And actually, this is helping. This is helping black. So what can black do now?
Well, can get off of the side.
Attack the bishop, so could play rook b6.
Yeah.
Yeah, rook b6. Now he's able to get out of the pin, right? Now he's out of the pin and he's attacking our bishop. So we can trade, and he's black's happy. Now the pin is gone. His game is much freer now. So we don't want to allow him to get out of the pin. How do we do that though? How do we not allow him to get out of the pin? Oh, by the way, this is also from their world championship match. So Big stakes.
Maybe just bring the bishop to e4 so you can set up.
Okay, so bishop e4. Okay, so you are attacking this pawn. And actually, you know what? He even has time. He's not even in a rush. He can even defend the pawn because now what's your follow-up?
I was going to say bishop c2.
Okay, so
Mhm.
bishop c2, not as strong. Why? Why is that not as strong?
You have to swap the bishop for the rook.
No, he doesn't have to take the bishop. No, he's got a
Well,
better.
no,
Black's got a better move.
if he did, I mean, that as far as the pin goes.
Right, but black has a better move here, which is what?
And play bishop to b5.
Yes, bishop b5. Excellent. Now everyone see why this is a strong move, because the idea is that this rook is unprotected. That's the whole idea. So that's why he can play bishop b5, protect his rook, and white doesn't have time to capture the bishop, right? So the idea, the problem that white has is that his rook is unprotected. That's the problem. So really, black is threatening to get rid of the pin himself by playing bishop b5, and he'll be rid of the pin. So the question is, how do we prevent that or stop that?
Rook to C, bishop to C6? No.
Bishop c6. Well, we'll just trade bishops, right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So we want to. So right here, yeah, black is helpless in this pin. We want to make sure he stays that way. How do we do that? You guys want a hint?
Mhm.
Anybody want a hint? It's a great move. It's very quiet and very clever move. This move, I like it. So yeah, so the big problem is that the rook is unprotected, right? So we want to move to a place where he might be protected. But how can we do that though?
So if you move the rook to a2, then the trouble with the bishop to b5 is now if pawn takes, that opens up the protection.
Excellent, got it. Yeah, beautiful, quiet
So that-
move. Rook a2 puts the rook on the same diagonal as the bishop. Now bishop a5 is not as powerful because now the rook is protected. Beautiful. Isn't that beautiful? I love that. So for that reason, bishop a5, bishop b5 cannot be played. So now, basically, black cannot do anything. All his winning course of action was basically pushing these pawns, and he wins because this bishop and rook, they're paralyzed. You know, the king can't even come here to protect his rook. Actually, he can come here, but you know, these pawns are going to be being pushed, and the queen will be assured very easily. So yeah, very powerful use of a pin, and making sure that your opponent stays in the pin. Eliminate all possibilities, eliminate all counterplay. So beautiful use of that.
So the continuation is to just exploit the fact that they're stuck.
Yeah.
Then be free to to push your pawns and promote.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Here, completely paralyzed over here. These rook and bishop cannot do anything, and it's a great illustration of a wonderful pin. All right, great. So let's go to the next one. All right. So this is a game between Kaplan and Bronstein, who's a very strong grandmaster. So I mean David Bronstein, yeah. So this game came to be known as the Eternal Pin. got a nice nickname. So white to move. Oh, sorry, black to move. Bronstein is black. So what is the best move for black here?
Take the bishop.
Okay, so you can take the bishop. Let's see here. If you take the bishop, I believe that probably the best move would be something like this. And then eventually, you know, I mean, it's good, but it's not as strong. So yeah, so in this position, the white is ahead by a minor piece. He's ahead by a knight, right? So taking the bishop would just achieve equality, basically, right? So and then allowing the rook to come here is just, yeah, not strong enough. So we need something a little bit stronger than that.
Well, isn't your next move? I mean, if you take the bishop with the queen, isn't your next move queen to e1 check?
Right. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Good point. Good point. Yeah. So maybe the best move would be here. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
So can you take the knight with the queen? And then when the queen recaptures, you can pile on with the rook.
Let's see. Take the knight with the queen. Now, what do you want to do?
I haven't worked this through yet, but now the queen is pinned on the king.
Okay. Now, what do you want to do?
Take the bishop with the rook.
What do you think, everyone? Good move or bad move?
He just takes the bishop.
Yeah, no
yeah.
good.
Yeah. He takes your bishop.
Okay.
Yeah.
Never mind.
That's okay. It's okay. It's good thought process, though. Okay. So, what else? Anyone else?
Rook b8.
Rook d8. Okay. All right. So we're increasing the pressure. Actually, he's got a really good move, which is bishop blocks, which can be kind of annoying. So I mean, he can't push here. You can take, and he wins the knight. So it's basically just equality, right? Just equality. And now black's probably in trouble because his king is open. So and you got the bishop coming down here. So you got to be careful with that. So, okay, better move than rook d8. Better move. You guys want a hint?
How about
What if I take the queen? So queen takes,
Okay, queen takes
Queen.
c3, then take back. Now what?
and then I take with a rook.
Take the bishop. Good. Now we're threatening the knight. So now, what is the best move for white?
Rook to d1.
Okay, rook d1. That is not the best move. Why? What can black do here?
Take the pawn on g2.
Then take a pawn.
No, much stronger than that.
rook d8?
Excellent. Yeah. Increase pressure, right? PP on the PP. So now we have 3 pieces attacking, and he's only got 2 pieces defending, and this rook is not able to defend. We will win the knight. and win the game. So not rook d1, but what? What is better than rook d1?
Rook d5.
Rook d5, definitely. Yeah.
Mhm.
Again, accomplishes two goals, right? Protecting the rook and also controls d8, right? Preventing the rook, the black rook from increasing pressure. Okay, so now what is the best move for black here?
Rook to e1.
Rook.
No, actually, not sure.
What do you
Not
guys
sure
think?
about that.
No, we're gonna, then the other rook can defend.
You start pushing the pawns.
Start pushing the pawns. Okay, which one? Well, give me a pawn.
I was thinking the B pawn to try to attack that weak double pawn on C.
So b5.
Yeah.
b5. Okay. So if we do b5, now you're allowing you're allowing white to escape the pin, right? King d1. Now he's escaped the pin, and now you kind of helped him. You helped to free his game, right? So our task is to maintain the pin and not allow him to free his game, right? So how do we do that?
Um,
So if rook takes knight,
Mm-hmm.
and the rook will recapture,
Yep.
and then you add the other rook at d1. or d8,
Excellent. Very good. Now what?
and then the other rook comes over and helps.
Excellent. Now what?
Now I don't know what next.
And now you're correct.
Now exchange rooks.
Now, okay, so if you exchange rooks, now that's helping white, right? Because now all we have is bishop left, and he's going to escape the pin. You trade, and it's just going to be an endgame, right?
Okay.
So we don't want to help him. So how do we now here in this position? Black has a killer move. Killer move. I'm not saying that lightly. It's a killer move. What is the killer move here?
B5.
B5.
Why not C4?
Okay. Well, let's look at B5 first. So B5. So now what can white do here? Best move for white.
Oh no, it's too slow because then he can move the king to B1 and escape the.
Well, if he moves the king to B1, then we win the rook outright.
No, you're right.
Right? So we can't do that. So what's the best move
Yeah.
for white here?
Isn't it kind of stuck? That's what I was thinking about pushing B5.
He's almost stuck. I'll say that. He's almost stuck. So what can you do?
So if you pawn C4.
Yeah, I think he would have to sacrifice a pawn in order to free up his game, right? C4, B takes C4, C3. Now he can go King C2, and he's escaped. And black is up a pawn, although it's doubled and isolated. But black will not have an easy win at all, right? Because after all this, all the pieces are going to trade, and then it's going to be king pawn endgame. So it's not really that clear what's going to happen. So the idea is to not allow white to escape the pin. How do we not allow him to escape the pin? All right, let's go back.
C4.
C4 is the killer
C4, yeah.
move. Isn't that amazing? A pawn move being a killer move. I love that. I love when that happens. So C4. Now white is completely cramped. And white is almost in a state of what?
Paralysis.
But in chess terms, what do we call this?
Zugzwang.
Zugzwang, yeah.
Zugzwang.
Everybody knows what that means? Everybody knows what zugzwang? Anybody not know?
No, I don't know what that means.
Okay, can somebody define zugzwang for Harry?
It's when any move that you make, it makes your position worse.
Yes, exactly. So I learned that Zwiesenzug. Anybody know what that means? That is Zwiesenzug?
That's the in-between move, isn't it?
The in-between move, yeah. So those two terms are German words, and I remember hearing from a German speaker, native speaker, that in the German language, they never use those terms except for chess players. So those are uniquely unique terms just for chess players. You see, we're special. So they never use that in general conversation. So it's kind of funny. But yeah, so Zugzwang basically means the how would you say, you do not want to move. You know, if you would, you could pass your turn, but you can't. You have to move, right? So it's, you know, you are compelled to move, right? So and then once you move or your opponent moves, that will either worsen your position, lose material, or you'll get mated, right? So here, these rooks are paralyzed, this king is paralyzed, these pawns are paralyzed and blocked. So now white is almost in a state of Zugzwang. So all black has to do is move his bishop or rook back and forth, wait for white to run out of moves, right? And that's it. It's done. See, there's nothing. He can just go back and forth. He doesn't even have to take that. And he's gonna run out of moves. And once he does, let's say he goes here. Now, once he does, now he's forced to move, and we win the rook for nothing, right? So it's a very beautiful illustration of you know, maintaining the pin if possible. If you can maintain the pin, it's a very powerful maneuver, very powerful motif here. So everybody get that?
Mm-hmm.
It's called the Eternal Pin. I love this game. Very nice game. All right, so let's go on to the next one. All right, so this is between, again, two top level players, Onat and Gavrilakis. Not really recognizable names, but nevertheless strong players. So black to move. What is the best move here?
Bishop a6.
Bishop a6. Everybody see this move? Why is that the best move? Why is that a good move?
Mm.
Pins the bishop to the king and
Pins the bishop, yeah, threatening to win the rook. So what if the rook takes?
then you deliver check.
Good. Take with check. Now only move king e1. Now best move here.
Then you pin it's bishop
Pin
a.
the, pin the rook.
Bishop to
A5.
Yeah.
A5.
Yeah, beautiful. Bishop a5, pinning the rook to the king. King moves up. King d2. Best move here.
You can just move the bishop out of there. You don't need to take right now.
Yeah.
So where do we move it?
A6.
A6. What does everyone think? Good move? What do you think?
Or what about E4 attacking the knight?
Okay, you can go to e4. It's not really attacking the knight. I mean, you're just threatening to exchange it, which is not really a threat. So we need a stronger move than bishop a6. What do you think?
To bishop f1.
Okay, why is that stronger than bishop a6?
Because it's threatening. Oh wait, no. Yeah, it's threatening the pawn on.
Exactly, yeah. So remember, going back to the idea that even when you're defending, you should defend and, if possible, simultaneously attack, right? So bishop f1 moves the bishop out of the way of the king and simultaneously is attacking g2, free pawn, and we're at the same time threatening to win the rook outright. So king c3, exchange, get the free pawn, and now even if the knight defends this pawn, we can take this pawn and still win this, because knights are famous for being horrible at trying to stop connected pass pawns. Very horrible, very bad. So there's really not much that white can do here. He can even try to come here and yeah. Actually, you know what? Maybe even better. Let's see. here. If he goes here, maybe we bring the king up here, 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 here. There you go. And now, now it's just going to be an idea of promoting one of these pawns. So yeah, knight's extremely horrible at stopping connected pass pawns. So beautiful. All right. So we got about 7 minutes left. We can do the last one. Let's do the last one. This is between two grandmasters again, and it's white to move. It's white to move, and yeah, what is the best move for white here?
So the difficulty with taking the queen is then the rook takes your rook and it's checkmate. So what
Exactly. Yeah.
what if you play something like queen to c8?
Queen to c8. Okay. So if we go queen c8, let's see here. Actually, no, that loses. What is the best move here for black? That's a losing move. What is the best move here?
Take the queen.
No, if we take the queen,
No, no,
now
no.
our queen, the black queen is gone, and you can even take this. Now it's going to be a pretty drawish, right? So, what is the best move here for black?
Oh, you can take the rook on c2.
If we take the rook,
No, the one
he
on
takes-
c2.
oh, sorry. Okay, so if we take c2, okay, he takes with check, and still kind of drawish. Maybe he can either trade queens or take this. Maybe he would want to trade queens, maybe, but yeah, no, it's not clear. It's unclear. So we need something stronger than that.
Queen takes f3.
Queen takes f3. Ah, very nice move. I like that move a lot. That's good. I wasn't even thinking about that, but that's a good move too. Yeah. King comes over, and there's mate here. If the pawn takes the queen. Oh, actually, you know what? Sorry, my mistake.
Oh,
That's a horrible
it's
move.
pinned.
Why is that? Yes, because the rook is still
It's
pinned. The rook is pinned. Don't forget the theme of our lecture, okay? Pins. There's pins everywhere here. So queen f3, no good. Looks good though.
Can you just bring the king to f8?
King to f8. He's gonna take again. Drawish.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ah, I just showed you guys. Sorry. Queen d8. Sorry, I spoiled it. Queen d8. My mistake. Queen d8 is the move. Now, can anybody see why that's the correct move? That's a crazy move. Crazy move. So first of all, let's go through the other options. First of all, queen takes. What if? Let's see. Yeah, so he can't take the pawn, right, because of checkmate. And you know, he has like, and this rook is hanging right now, right? So it seems like in this position that white is lost. You know, this king is horribly cramped by the bishop and this pawn. So this king is horribly cramped, yet black has this saving grace move, amazing queen d8. Now, I wonder if any of you were to be presented this position in any of your games, would any of you play queen d8? I venture to think not. I think most people would not, because the thing is, with beginners, the one difference between beginners and master players is that people who are like, international masters or grandmasters, they consider all moves, right? So no moves are really off the table, right? So sometimes a move that just looks wildly ridiculous and absurd, it could work. but most beginners would not even consider it, because they're like, obviously this is a horrible move, because your queen can be taken two different ways. So you take the queen with the rook, and you're just trading queens here, right? Again, back to a draw, right? If we take the queen with the bishop, now what? Same thing.
No.
Take, right?
Right.
And I mean, what else can he do? He can take your rook, and then you're just going to be a trade of rooks, right? So really, amazingly enough, this queen d8, it put the wrench in the entire black position.
So why would that be superior to queen c8?
Queen c8. Oh yeah, we didn't even. Oh yeah, that's right. We didn't get to why queen c8 is a losing move. All right, see if you can figure it out. It's 8 o'clock, but we'll see if we can figure this one out. Why is queen c8 losing?
Well, if you take, never mind.
Yeah, taking the queen doesn't work. Just trade queens. All right, so I'll give you a hint. The answer lies in protecting this rook.
Queen e3.
Yeah, queen e3. So we said king f8, but that just loses to this. Take, and then trade down. Queen e3. Now, again, this is a move that does simultaneously two things, which is what?
Protects the rook and threatens mate.
Yeah, excellent move, right? Protects the rook, threatens mate. So that is why it's a losing move. So really, white has no option here but to sacrifice the queen. And here black will win easily. So yeah, that is the lecture on pins. Hope you guys enjoyed it. So yeah, so I guess we'll switch back. But any other questions, by the way, before we finish the session? Anybody? Nobody? Awesome. You guys enjoy it? Did you learn something? Hope. You guys
This is
are
great.
Yes.
Thank you.
awesome.
Thank you, Danilo.
Hope you guys are all masters of pins by now. So I'm gonna make sure you guys win your games and use your pins. Just remember, PP on the PP is a very important acronym. Okay, very sophisticated acronym. It's very, very good for kids too. They love it. They just start laughing. All right, great. So yeah, so have a good night, and I'll email you guys the link to this the lecture. I upload, what I do is I upload it to my YouTube channel, Danilovich Chess. Or actually, you know what? I'm gonna upload it to Evan's Premier Chess channel. Yeah, I'm gonna do that, and I'll send you that. All right, so you guys can have. It's gonna be unlisted, by the way. Or actually, you know what? No, I think he wants to make it public. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, I'll send you the link, and you guys can look it over at your leisure. All right. Okay.
Cool.
Good meeting
Thank
you
you.
guys.
Thank
So
you very much.
hope you guys have a great night.
Thank you.